It is late at night and we are off the grid. And while both of those things are true, I can vouch for that. I cannot vouch for anything else in the world. But here we are. We're here to talk about being off the grid. We're here to keep it light because on the off grid farm, if we don't keep it light, we will run out of power. And so we try to make it a priority. And so this is what it looked like today, looking outside our front window at the tractor, at the solar shed. Again, we've got 36 panels on the back of that solar shed, 3 Tesla power walls inside, 2 inverters and a gateway. We're chopping some firewood as well for the winter. It's cold here. And what is it? How cold is it? I mean, I can give you, I figure I could start to give you the actual temperatures here. So it's 35 degrees, but the feels like temperature, does it say it on there? I think it was like 24. I think we had a feels like temperature of 24. So it's chilly. It feels very cold, very below freezing here. And there's a chance of snow later this week. So should be interesting. Always keeps it interesting. But we did have good sun today. And that's what this indicates, is that we had clear skies, had blue skies. We were able to produce and store a lot of power and actually charged our batteries up to 100%, which is great. And so what does that look like? What does charging our batteries up look like? So here's a little snapshot into our Tesla system, opening up on the app, and you can see the off-grid farm at 11:02. So this is just about a half an hour ago, PM. And it was one of the things they actually upgraded. I'm going to pause this for a sec. I always talk about random stuff when I pull this up, and then I get ahead of myself or behind myself, as the case may be. Here, I don't know if you could see behind the little replica house garage shed with the solar panels on it. That looks nothing like, I mean, it doesn't look nothing like our setup, but it's not indicative of our setup at all. And it would be nice to put some parameters in it. I could see where they would be able to put together some kind of a model that looked, more similar to what you were working with on your house or on your garage or something like that. But that's a side point. There's stars behind it. There's never been stars behind it. It's nighttime. And during the day, it seems indicative of weather conditions. There'll be sunshine, there'll be clouds. So I don't know if Tesla is trying to slowly integrate some kind of weather into their app, especially this home management part of it. But let's run, here you can see actively, the home is using 0.4 kilowatts. That's primarily 2 things. 0.4 kilowatts is primarily the refrigerator freezer running, and the fireplace running. I'll give you a live look into the fireplace in a minute, because that does heat our entire house. And while we do have mini splits and we do have complementary or supplementary heating and whatnot, it's the fireplace that really does us justice. So what did today look like? Today looked like we used 21.7 kilowatts. And I think I'll show you what that stacks up with as we come back to that. But that's been about average, 27.1 kilowatts. It shows you what we discharged and what we charged, kind of the power wall setup. And so we charged up 18.1, we discharged 15.5. And when you look at it, you can run through the peaks and valleys of the day, and see what your highs and lows the analytics break out to. This is a little snapshot of what we generated. So here you can see we generated 24.3. So we generated more power than we used, which is nice. We'll take those days dwindle in the wintertime as we start to get a lower sun arc and just less days of sunshine. And so these were the past few days. You could see back to Tuesday, 22.5, 24.7. We essentially average, I'd say, between 18 and 25, 27 kilowatts a day if we're just functioning normally. Just using our house as we normally would. We can cut that down in half. We can cut it down to 12, 10 kilowatts. But when I was talking about the fireplace, this is really what our fireplace looks like. And believe it or not, this heats our entire house. Nobody loves this more than Huckleberry. He sleeps by this fireplace all day long. It makes him super happy, which makes me super happy. And it keeps it cozy. How cozy does it keep it? I will show you. We have physical proof. We have a thermometer. We have one of those thermometers in our house, and we could tell the exact temperature that our house is at any given time. And so you'll see here, and we can, 76. I mean, it's 76 in ours. That's a little warm. That's why the big guy's just kind of lying on his back and passed out. because it's tropical. So usually we keep it between 66 and 72. And we've got the ability to adjust the fan speed on the fire, on the wood burning fireplace to keep us at temperature. So that's kind of how it breaks down when you look at the power that we're using, the temperature that it is, and when can I go back to this? Let's see. Let me just see this real quick. Like, what does this mean? Like, so if we're using 0.5 kilowatts here, and we've got 74% of our battery, you could see in the bottom that little white power wall, as ours is actually inside. So if we've got 74% of 40 kilowatts, we've got more than 2/3. So we've got more than 2 batteries full, which is great. So if we're just running a half a kilowatt and we've got 30 kilowatts of power, we've easily got 15 hours banked in there. So we're in pretty good shape with how much power we have. So I feel good about that rolling into tomorrow. And a little peek into what the weather is again right now. It's at 35 degrees, but it's dipped down. I mean, the feels like temperature is about 24 right now, and we've seen a couple of snowflakes, and it's just getting to be that time of year. So that's sort of I even made a little banner. That's our power trip. That's sort of the check-in on the power. Food for thought. Rolling into that, this was really interesting to me. So I was flipping through. I got my little flipboard. I like to flip through, and I keep track of some off-grid news and things like that. Solar panels are actually saving lives. That's an interesting article for another day. Electric school buses and vehicle to grid. This is the one I wanted to focus on, but there's a couple others. World's first self-charging solar motorcycle was pretty cool. An official switch on game-changing off-grid battery system. But this is what I really wanted to take a look at. This is electric buses and vehicle to grid. But there was an interesting, I think it was this. No, it wasn't. It was, there was an interesting video. Why can't I get it? Is this it? Here it is. Yes. Is it this? Oh no, this was the one I just showed you. There was an interesting video. I did have it on here. At one point, here it is. Nope. That is some information I had for the interesting
the
video.
trucks.
Here
maybe,
we go.
But I am curious then, thinking about school buses.
So this is just talking. This is Green Technica talking about vehicle to grid buses. It's just a little bit of a conversation. I'm going to let it roll for a minute.
The companies creating electric school buses now, I mean, they're not high tech companies. I mean, they're great manufacturers.
Agreed with that.
They're great at what they do, building school buses, but I can't imagine.
This is actually a similar problem to what we're having even in the home building industry, where we've got some talented home builders, great home builders out there, but the difference between integrating traditional home building skills and techniques and some of the new technology like we have to run our house, it takes a lot of coordinating. And so I can empathize with their situation.
Like, okay, we're going to do the software for vehicle to grid as well. So how has that developed? How have you come to that, and how's that industry, that field looking for you right now?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. When myself and Andrew started this company, we didn't know anything about v2g. We didn't know anything about what that was and all that entailed. Like, we were building a fleet company, right? And I think it's been an interesting transition for us. Like, we've gone from building a fleet business to actually building an energy business, right? And when we talk to people, when we went through and raised this latest round of capital, we presented ourselves as an energy business, right? Because we are managing resources, but we are doing that more than we're doing anything fleet related, right? So Northeast, and so at the time, Highland had purchased a whole bunch of school buses from Thomas Built, and so we worked very closely with Thomas Built to ensure that our software could integrate in appropriately with the vehicle, integrate in appropriately with the charging manufacturer, and then remotely send a signal to discharge a vehicle to the grid around a certain schedule that a utility had. So the first iteration took a very long time.
That sounds pretty cool.
But since then,
I mean, one of the things that's pretty cool about this is one of the, I'm totally going to mess this up, but let me see if I can, I had the, here it is. Thomas electric buses have a standard battery capacity of 246 kilowatts. That's a crazy amount of power. I want to put that in a little bit of context in 1 second, but I understand they have that much power because they have to move around such a large mass, so a heavy weight. And when it's weighed down with, I don't know, how many kids do these things hold? I have kids, I should know this. School buses probably hold like 30 kids or something like that, 40 kids. It's a lot of weight they got to move. So 246 kilowatts, I get, doesn't get you the extended range that you would typically think from a vehicle. For instance, we have an electric vehicle. We have a Hyundai. It has vehicle to load, which is why we have it, and we use it to power our house. So our Hyundai Ioniq 5, which powers our house, has a total of just under 80 kilowatts. I think it's 77 kilowatts, of which we can use 80% of that. So let's say we could use 60, 65 kilowatts from our vehicle. So the bus has 246. Our car has 65 usable. Our house has about 38 usable, 36 usable, 40 total, but you can't really use the last 5 or 7 or 10% of it, depending on how close you want to push it. We've run it down to 6%, under 6% for our house battery, for our Tesla Powerwalls. They'll shut off, and it is a pain in the ass to get those things jump started. You don't want to get to zero power. I suspect on a vehicle too. I've also come close on that, but have not run out on the vehicle. I have had to jump start the house. Another video for another day, and you could do that with any 12-volt battery or standard, 12-volt battery. So it's not hard to do. It just takes a while, and you have to open the system up and kind of give it a jump start, which is always scary. So I digress. So the electric buses have 246. Our car has 80. Our house has 40. So you could see plugging these things into the grid, one of these things into the grid would give a significant boost. I mean, could easily run a house, could easily start to run a community when you stack these amount of buses up. We have a small school system. We have 3 buses. And so we have a small town though. And so an additional 750 kilowatts is really getting up to close to 1,000 kilowatts. That's a lot of power. So it's the largest standard battery capacity for any electric bus and allows for an estimated range of up to 150 miles. So again, you're not getting a lot of miles, but you're going around town. So this is great because the buses are getting used during the day, pickups in the morning, drop-offs in the afternoon, and then they're kind of sitting idle. And if they're sitting idle, they may as well have collected the power during peak power creation when the sun is up in the sky, it's beating down on all the surfaces anyway. So you might as well charge things that can get charged and hold power for the off-peak hours when you can offset any surge, especially in the seasons, the wintertime here in New England where people are running their heat. Not everybody can just run a fireplace. We're very fortunate in that. And that has pros and cons to it too. It's definitely a high maintenance heating source. And in the summertime, everybody runs their AC. And this helps offset those off-peak hours where extra power is needed. So that's just 2 to 3 hours to charge at a DC fast charging station. I mean, it seems like these have come a long way. I haven't done a ton of research on electric buses, but the fact that they have now these electric buses that do the vehicle
really good
to grid.
We've done v2g in 8 different states with 5 different utilities now as a company. We do it on a regular cadence through the summer and winter in a lot of cases.
Exactly.
And we've worked very, very closely with OEMs like Thomas Built, like IC, and other charging OEMs as well.
So it's smart because I think they're using really kind of entrenched manufacturers, really like historically productive manufacturers like Thomas Built and things like that. And what they're doing is they're kind of supplementing and complementing those tried and true mechanics with this opportunity to
ensure that we can discharge, have the integrations in the right places. And so there's been a lot of testing that's had to go into that. There's been a lot of man hours that have had to go into that. But I feel really good about where we are from being able to transact energy back to the grid. So to give you an example, this past summer, we sent back enough energy to the grid to power 3,000 homes for an entire month.
That's a lot of 3,000 homes for an entire month is what he just said. They sent enough power back to the grid for.
right? And that's a pretty sizable amount of power.
Yes, it is.
When you
Yes,
think
sir.
about it. And we did that across Massachusetts, Virginia, North Carolina, I want to say Indiana, and Vermont. So, pretty good, pretty.
So this is the key. This is what I call the key to kind of like democratizing power. I think at the end of the day, these are the actions that we can take. Let me just see who wrote this article. These are the actions we can take to democratize power, which is I think that's a new concept, really. I think for so long, the hierarchy of power has flowed, from the tippity top, out through the grid and out to people. And it was a one-way street. And now it is a two-way street. Well, even more than a two-way street. So now we've got the portability of being able to capture the power, create the power, and now store the power and push it back into the grid, which is pretty crazy. So I thought this was a pretty nice article. What was it? Electric school buses and vehicle to grid. Match made in heaven. I agree. Maybe that's a pretty strong statement, but I agree. I think it's a really, it's a fantastic opportunity for school systems, for municipalities, for government, and for privatized energy to kind of work together to create a more sustainable and definitely more reliable system. And forget about when disaster strikes, and now you can get these buses mobilized to places where it really needs to go, which really opens up a whole new set of opportunities. So that was food for thought. And that made me look today. I am a big fan of Ari at Home. I don't know if too many people follow him. Do I have the sound on? Oh, did this not record with any sound? Oh, that would be a shame. That would be a shame. Oh, we could pull this up. All right. Can you guys bear with me for a minute? We can pull this up. Hold on one sec. Let's go back to YouTube. Give me a second. I apologize for that. It's going to be worth it. And I can get it up pretty quick because I was just on it. So I know where it is. So let's see. Ari at Home. Here we go. Let me cue it up. And I'll have to share the screen. Oh, there's so many steps to this. All right. We've got the performance. So Ari at Home walks around New York City with his, I'll call it like a Ghostbuster pack. He wears like a Ghostbuster pack of gear, and it's got a speaker. All right, we could share the screen now. We could do this. Share screen. Yeah, share. Here we are. Great. All right, but let's make this bigger because this really needs a bigger stage. And how do we do? Yeah, we can do this here. There we go. All right, we're in control now. So Ari at Home walks around New York City with this like amazing backpack speaker setup, and he creates improvisational beats. Also a fantastic improv rapper, freestyle rapper, and has a nice voice, carries the tune. But what he really does is he gives a platform for people to shine. I mean, that's as easy as I could say it. He sets up a place where people can, and it's neat to see once people start to feel comfortable around the music, around the vibe, around just the positivity, people really open up. So I'm just going to run this. I'm going to try to get out of everybody's way on this, including myself, and just play this out for a minute because that's what it deserves.
All right, you getting on? All right, let's do it. What are you feeling?
Something a little R&B.
Okay.
A little indie.
Okay, indie. Okay, anything else? What are you feeling today? What are the vibes today?
It's a beautiful day. Love is in the air.
Oh, is it a love song?
See, he's got his little rig. So he's got
I'll give you some slow guitars, and I'll let you do the rest.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Oh, I don't even know. I won't even pretend to know. But a little keyboard and a little drum pad, and okay, can we get out of the way? This is just amazing.
You never say the way you make me feel. I think it's time for things to get real. I wanna know how far we'll go, but baby, let's take it slow. And when you dream, oh, do you think of me? I wanna sleep. Oh, put your arms around me.
spot. This is all in the
You have changed, but you still play the game, the game, the game. You say you have changed, but you still play the game, the game, the
We're at a nice crowd too, as they should. He goes out every week.
If you think that this is the end,
One of these days,
then you've never played pretend.
You say that you changed, you say that you're different now. By life, I guess I figure it out. Yeah, I put my ear to the stone and you're listening now. I see the wind in the trees, I see the wind in the breeze. Yeah, and the prettiest things, everything it unchanged. Seasons they come and they
harmonize
live
nice.
like the rain.
You say you have changed.
and they're just making people happy by osmosis. They're just walking around. I think they probably have to walk around because you can't, maybe boss can stand still, I suspect.
Everything for you.
But you could, they're just making everybody happy.
Maybe you'll find a
It's
friend
that easy. Well, it's not that easy, but
who can be what you wanted. I think that she's not me. Me, 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 me. You say
that was great. It's just great. It just makes me smile. This is where I know the world's going to be okay. Because Ari at home is walking around running into random strangers. And they are busting out bangers. It's on the streets of New York City. We're going to be okay. There's so much good in this. You can see it, you can hear it, you can feel it. I'm really grateful to you guys. People are dancing, people are filming, people are smiling. That's what we need more
I'll
of.
think about it. I'll really, really think about it.
There it is. Oh my god.
Right.
Damn. Oh yeah, that drop though. All right, wait. What's your name? You gotta. Dude, that was pretty fire. I'm sorry if it was a little slow. I don't know. It was good.
I'll end it there. I mean, that just makes me feel good. So, on that note, I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving too. My Thanksgiving went something like this. For anybody who's interested, which is pretty great. I had spilled some of the turkey juice on the little table, stone table there. But yeah, we had a good one. We had a good one, and it went like that, and then it ended something like that. And so life is good on this end. Hey, I think a couple people stuck it out for a lot of this stream. It really makes my day. I really appreciate you guys. So thanks for doing that. Again, it's good people in this world, from left to right to up to down. And I'm really grateful for that. So hope you guys had enough power for your day inside and out. I'm going to try to be here more often. I've been dealing with some health things, but I'm sticking it through, and I am excited to talk about this stuff. So I'm excited to have people to talk about it with. At the end of the day, I don't need a subscription to me. Subscribe to you. Be good to yourself, and I will see you on the flip side. Peace.